On today's show, we feature round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series from Calder Park Raceway in Melbourne, Victoria. Then Pure Motorsport recapping all the action of the FIA ecoRally Cup and Formula Regional Oceania Cup. Followed by the Hi-Tec Oils Super Series panel show, where we look at all the action from round 2 at Hidden Valley Raceway and preview round number 3 in Queensland. This is Speedweek. It's round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series, and we're coming to you from Calder Park Raceway in Victoria, where we haven't been since 2019. Tony, this one's going to be a fantastic round.
Yeah, Matty, look, if these Calder Park walls could talk, they'd have some stories for us. We've got a killer layout, but let's go check out Damien in the pits with the drivers.
Leading the championship at the moment, obviously coming off Winton from the win. How are you feeling this weekend at Calder Park, and can we make it back-to-back, mate?
Yeah, that's the aim. Coming out of Winton gave me a lot of confidence. That's the first round win I've had in drifting. Been trying a long time. Yeah, car feels pretty dialed in, but obviously the weather just keeps changing. There was no consistent laps in practice, so it's very much suck and see as we get out there, so very variable conditions.
The car actually felt really, really comfortable. I was lucky enough to get some dry laps in the at the start there in the practice, so I'm pretty happy with it.
A little bit beaten up, a bit of a missile, but now it's all clean, and yeah, I've cleaned up the power as well. So it's a good little setup, ready to go.
I fully centred on my first lap in qualifying, tagged the wall a little bit. Second run was in the wall a little bit more, there's a little bit of water up there. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the runs, you know. Walls make the man, so we sent it.
Tricky conditions here at round number 2, and we've laid out a very complicated last corner, haven't we, Tony? Because we come in, we've got a right-hander, left-hander, but it's the big run-the-wall section. Let's have a look at the track preview.
Yeah, so the lead driver is not allowed to initiate over the centre part of the circuit. They've got to be a metre off that inside ripple strip coming through turn 1, another metre off turn 2, then the switchback touch and go section through the mid part of the circuit, and then the big flick into the final corner, filling that entire outside zone, and that's going to give them maximum points.
Let's have a look at how they qualified in round number 2 here, and Brodie Maher is back after issues in round 1, up at the top rank after qualifying. Patrick Barley in second, and James Abbott rounds out our top 3. Let's have a look at how our top 16 are looking here for the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category now. Brodie Maher will take on Derek Newsom. Chris Saddle will take on Jason Ferrin. Jordan Sanderson will be up against Matty Grice, and Roger Anson against Brad Toohey.
Patrick Barley takes on Adam Burgess. Benny Mears got Sam Mudge first up. James Abbott against Scott Shembry, and Benny Odgers against Alex Sharker.
Well, let's get underway with our top 16 battles here in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category, and leading out, Brodie Maher, our defending champion. After round number 1, where it didn't go his way, he had mechanical issues. He's back, and look at him take away from Derek Newsom. Opens up a nice gap there, goes through turn number 2. He's a metre off that apex, maybe just a little bit more, but he's doing really nice in the Bonnie Energy 1 this time. Sets up in the touch and go zones. It's the big final run the wall. Let's see how he sets up a little bit of handbrake. He's been running the wall all day. He's right out wide. Look at him go. Brodie Maher leading out nicely in this top 16 battle.
Yeah, look, it seems like Derek Newsom was just struggling on initiation there, coming through turn 1. Let's check out the Tri-Ace replay. So Derek coming into turn number 2 here, he's got a big gap to Brodie Maher that's going to really struggle to get up into that position.
What can he do in the lead run now? Derek Newsom pulls it up, but no, it straightens up for him. He's got a bobble at the start, and Brodie Maher applying all the pressure in the background. Look at him go. Gets right on the door through turn number 2, but Derek Newsom just doesn't have that mechanical grip we can see from the Maher. Bonnie Energy 1 They throw it in the final corner. Derek Newsom gets it up. You can see the smoke coming off the tyres. He's locked up. Brodie Maher following through. Oh, no contact made on the final bit of the corner. Wow.
What an impressive chase by Brodie Maher. It still looked like Derek Newsom just having a few little issues getting the car settled, but Brodie, what a fantastic chase.
We'll have a look on board here. The win does go to Brodie Marr. We'll check out the Trias replay. Look how close he is coming out of turn number 2. These touch and go zones. It's an opportunity to really set the car pace up for that final corner. He does a really nice job. As we move on to our next battle, Chris Sadler leads us out in the VE Commodore Ute over Jason Ferrin in the R33, who's been so good at D1NZ recently. Sets himself up. Chris Sadler doing a nice job. He's a bit tight there on turn number 2, but the number 33 sets himself up for a run. The big LS, you can hear it as he drives down towards running the wall here. The Hi-Tec Oils in the background. Jason Ferrin with a straight in there. He's really shallow at the moment, Jason, and that's uncharacteristic, this being his home track, and he spins out just as we go to the finish line.
Yeah, look, Jason seemed really unsettled for some reason. Chris Sadler did a really good job pulling that VE Ute up for turn 1, got on the power through turn 2, but Jace just didn't really see himself. We'll check out the Trias replay.
I think the drone shots really show it here, the changing conditions. We can see there's lots of puddles on the track. It's still wet within these dry patches, and this is what the drivers have to contend with. What is going to happen to the car? Is it going to grip up? Is it going to steer you straight? You can see how straight he is coming in there. A lot of handbrake usage, but no angle for Jason Ferrin. Doesn't really set himself up for that final corner, so this is going to be a hard one. Jason Ferrin, it's his home track. What can he do in the lead?
Here we go, Jason Ferrin to lead him out. A really impressive entry down the back straight. He's got it covered, but that water, you can see it on the inside of turn 1, and unsettles the front steering. He's gathered himself up again. Chris Sadler sitting right there in the second position, just trying to close the door, trying to get up nice and close. Jason Ferrin, full noise coming into that last corner on the loud pedal. You can see the tyre smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, he is pushing nice and wide, and he's gone around. That's 2 spins from Jason Ferrin in his battle. That's really uncharacteristic of him.
We can see those wet patches right up near the wall, so although our judges have said they can stay a metre off the wall with the back of the car, if they push it up high, you're going to run that risk, aren't you, that you hit a wet patch, the car spins out, as you can see on the end there. It's before our finish zone, and Chris Sadler gets the win in this battle. We'll move on to our next battle, though, and it's Jordan Sanderson leading out in the Zek Nova Australia VE Commodore Ute on Matty Grice. And listen to the big V8s go at it.
Yeah, 2 big V8s on the circuit, both cars with very similar suspension setup, steering setup, and Jordan Sanderson very committed in that final corner. That is a big heavy car to flick at the wall. That is full bravery, full commitment, and a very impressive lead run.
We've seen how good Matt Grice was in the qualifying earlier this weekend, so he has got super committed to this final run. But look at Jordan Sanderson, the amount of speed he's sacrificed, a little bit of angle there as he goes in the touch and go zones, and he throws it in. Puts the VE Commodore Ute right out on the wall, and Matty Grice is doing everything he can to stay with him. We'll turn it around though. Grice is going to wind the boost up though on the LS, and look at him throw it into turn number 1. They've got to watch out for that little river that's going across the apex of the corners. He switches back. He's very, very wide, and Sanderson doesn't follow him all the way out. He stays closer to the line. The judges want it again. Doesn't go all the way out in the touch and go zones there for Matt Grice. Let's see if he sets himself up for this final run the wall. They both get on the power. Sanderson down below closes up the proximity, and they get across the finish line.
In the chase position, Jordan there, you could just see him had to re-steady the car and reinitiate. We'll check out the Trias replay. It's all looking pretty good through the middle part here. Grice is on full lock going to those touch and go zones, but there, Jordan Sanderson gets a little bit of a straighten, had to reinitiate, but he gets on that inside line to be able to close the door and push right up for that close proximity.
It's that tricky part. It's a one more time from the judges. No surprise there. Both of them made some critical errors, I think, in their lead runs, and we'll have to wait and see how this plays out. One more time now. Jordan Sanderson leads us out. He's very, very wide, but I didn't see any dirt come up at all. It's drying out there now, and we're seeing more of those dry patches appearing. This could change things for the drivers. Gets it off. You've got to watch out for that inside ripple strip there. It can really unsettle the car, but he's just missed it by the looks of it. Sanderson sets him out. Look how much angle he throws in this final corner, and look at the smoke coming up the back. It's all noise, and Grice is on lock behind him. Wow, what a battle we've got.
What a fantastic run from both of these drivers. We'll watch the Trias replay and just pull it apart here. So cutting through the second part of the corner, Jordan Sanderson, a really fantastic lead run. Gives Matty Grice everywhere to chase. Flick back through in this last corner. Again, Jordan Sanderson's been so committed coming into that last corner. Dob a foot brake, and they get through unscathed.
You've got to be careful on that foot brake with these little wet patches we've got out there. Matty Grice leads out. Look at the angle as he goes through turn number 1. Sanderson definitely doesn't have the same amount of angle to match him. He's a little bit wide on turn number 2, and again, he just grabs that ripple strip from Matty Grice. It unsettles the car a bit. Now he's got his flow on as we head into the final quarter. Probably stalls it up just a fraction there. You can see the amount of input he's got to do on the steering. Now they're side by side as they finish it off. Wow, this was a one more time from these two, and how are the judges going to pull them apart? Well, Jordan Sanderson gets the advantage and will take the win.
Yeah, you can see that bump over the ripple strip, Matty Grice. That will have unsettled him coming through those touch-and-go zones, and that allowed Jordan just to be really solid, get in the pocket and get on full noise. What a great drift battle.
Loving the aggression from Jordan Sampson, who's in not just the pro category, but the ProAm this weekend as well. Here we go. A couple of people are on the podium in round number 1. It's going to be Roger Jansen, who won, leading out Brad Tui, who was in 3rd place back in the series in 2023. And look at Roger Jansen, very clinical as he goes through turn number 1. He's really setting the car up. Brad Tui, with lots of mechanical issues with axles and drive shafts this weekend, has done a lot of work overnight just to get the car out here. So he's only done a handful of laps, so he's doing an impressive job as he cuts down the inside to straight from Tui, and Roger Jansen right up on the wall, and that is a strong lead run.
What a fantastic lead run by Roger. He has just been dialed at this circuit in wet and dry conditions. What a fantastic run. And that gives the best possible chase for Brad Tui. So Roger, big flick. You can see him locking up the wheels, locking up the back wheels so close to the Hi-Tec wall ride, and he kept it off the wall. That is a fantastic lead run, giving all the room for Brad Tui.
Tough weekend for Brad Tui. We've mentioned it before, the drive shaft issues he's had. He's had to have machine work. He's had to fit different drive shafts to the car to make it back out there, and he's going to get a lead run. Roger Jansen puts the nose right up on the back quarter, though. He's not going to let him go anywhere, right through the puddle of water. That's going to unsettle the front wheels of the car. Roger Jansen just needs to stick back a little bit. He does nicely. He has to change his steering a little bit. A lot of work on Brad Tui. Now look at the angle thrown from him in the GT86, but he's shallow on the entry into the big right-hander at the end. He'll push it right up towards the wall, but it was a messy run.
Yeah, look, unfortunate for Brad. He did grab too much opposite lock coming through the touch-and-go zones. The idea is to keep it fast and flowy for a big setup into the last corner. But coming through turn 2, this was all pretty good through this middle part, but it was about here. He goes to massive steering angle. It washes off a lot of momentum, and that unsettles him to come into that last corner. It allows Roger to catch right up.
Well, let's check out our next battle. Patrick Barley in the C6 Corvette now, taking on Adam Burgess, who's had to borrow this car because another one with drive shaft issues this weekend, so he's actually borrowed a car to get back out there in competition. Isn't it great amongst the drifters how they'll just lend a car to their friend? And Patrick Barley, though, huge power, 434 cubes, a big V8, and look at him just wind the lock on whenever he needs it. It's there for him. Plenty of mechanical grip, and look at the speed as he carries it into the big right-hander, running the wall all the way. That Kevlar body. Wow.
What a lead run from Patrick Barley. Look, Adam Burgess hopping into a borrowed car to go and compete, and you can see the rain has started to team down. That is it's so hard to be able to hop into a car you're not familiar with and then have the changing conditions with the rain coming down. A credit to him for getting back out there, but what a fantastic lead run by Patrick Barley.
Let's check out the Trias replay, and he was just so fast at this point, wasn't he, Patrick Barley? He was our number 2 qualifier as well coming into this, and this is where you see Adam Burgess in the background just spinning out on the final corner. Look at the amount of rain that is falling again. The windscreen wipers are back on. So conditions are going to change between these two runs as well. And Adam Burgess in Mike Jones' borrowed Commodore Ute is very different to the E36 BMW he's been competing in all weekend so far. And look at Patrick Barley, just puts the nose in there. No drama with a Corvette. He just seems to have that so well balanced. He just knows I can just roll off the throttle, slow the wheel speed down, I can bring the speed of the car, I can put on whatever angle I want. Look at him go door to door. There's not a whole heap of angle there from Adam Burgess, but Patrick Barley makes sure he's got plenty in the background.
Look, getting through this track with the changing conditions, we'll check out the Trias replay, but just getting through, you can see the speed difference from the first lap to the second lap. It's such a handful of a layout, and obviously Adam driving a different car, but he's put down a really solid lead run, and Paddy's just right up there, right next to him. He can control all 800 or horsepower, however many he's got under the bonnet. He's done a fantastic job.
I don't know how the drivers are doing here in these really tough conditions, but we'll have to wait and find out how the top 8 unfolds. In the meantime, we're going to go to a short break and be back with all the action very soon. Welcome back to round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series from Calder Park in Victoria. Next up, Benny Meir leads us out the 311 Motorsport entry on Sam Mudge, who also competing in Pro and Pro-Am this weekend. Right up on the door of Benny Meir, really pushing him in the Dewars RB20. How much rain's going down that screamer pipe at the moment?
Yeah, look, it's that weather. You can see the flags waving. The rain is teeming down. These guys are probably going out on a wet weather setup now because they've had to change dramatically to try and get some grip and drive out of the car. You can just see the difference in road speed. but the fact that they kept it off the wall and off each other's doors, they've done a fantastic job.
Well, Benny Meir spins out, but that's past the finish line, so that will not be judged as Sam Mudge comes around behind. He did a great job. We'll check out the tries replay. How close is, does he make it all the way over before the car starts to spin out? Lots of angle there, he winds it all. Oh, it's hard, because you know at that point before the finish line that probably not going to get that one back in these conditions, especially with the amount of rain we've got out. And have a look at the puddling happening on track now. So we know it's not a flat surface. You can see him here from our shots from above. Sam Mudge, though, look at the commitment into turn number 1. Plenty of speed from him. He's throwing everything at it. Here we go, out in front. Benny Meir trying to keep pace. He's got to control the wheels, but he's already up on the ripple strip on the inside. Mudge, though, gets out of there nicely. Touch and go zones here. Sets himself up. Look at the gap he's opened up on Benny Meir already as he gets right up on the wall. Sam Mudge, he loves it here. This layout is suiting his driving style.
Yeah, the difference in grip levels between the cars, it's really evident. If you've got a car that has a lot of horsepower, you've really got to be gentle on the throttle. You can turn too much wheel speed and then you just lose your forward momentum. So Sam Mudge here in the touch and go zones, he's going into the final corner with so much commitment. The wipers are on flat out and he gets right out wide on the Hi-Tec Oils wall ride for the last corner, and unfortunately Benny Meir just couldn't close the gap over the length of the run.
I think when we compare the chase runs, that's where it's at. Well, one more time from these two, from the judges, and we're going to send them again. Here we go. Benny Meir leading out. He's just trying to pull the car up to that first corner. Look at how much steering input he needs. Sam Mudge, though, just using him as a mobile clipping point. I don't think he's worried about the line, Sam Mudge. He knows Benny Meir's going to put the car where it needs to go. He just needs to follow him in, emulate him as he goes through the run as they set up for the final corner. Mudge got a lot of handbrake there as he tries to pull it up. He knows how wide they're looking to go, and they both get through. Look at this. Wow. In these conditions, that's a fantastic run.
What a fantastic battle from both of these guys. To be able to steady the car up for turn 1 and get through cleanly, that's the hardest part of the lap. And then through these touch and go zones, they're both side by side. Sam Mudge is sitting right there. So this is coming through turn 2. You can see the amount of rain coming down on the screen. It'll be coming in their side windows. What challenging conditions we've got here at Calder Park today. And then here, the big flick, the big initiation in that final corner. A lot of handbrake to steady the car, but they got through cleanly.
Well, let's turn them around in this one more time. Sam Mudge will lead out in the Murray River Motorsport S13. He throws it in again, committed to the speed into turn 1, despite that mud river that's going through the apex. Benny Meir, some issues there, came in shallow. Now he's up on the ripple strip again. He's just having a hard time trying to maintain the speed that Sam Mudge has got. I'm not sure if that's a wheel speed issue or whether the mechanical grip that Sam Mudge has got in this car is just outperforming. Maybe he's gone out with a very different setup. He's just preempted how slippery it's going to be. The tyre pressure's going to be all the way down. Maybe soften the suspension right up. And Benny Meir hasn't quite grabbed it before they've gone out for these battles. But look at, there you go.
Let's check out the tries replay. This is coming through turn 2. It looks like Ben Meir's gone for a big flick through turn 2. Just seemed to lose a little bit of road speed, and Sam Mudge was just very committed to his line, very committed to his wheel speed and road speed, and he's just so comfortable at the track. He's driven hundreds of laps at this layout. Very, very confident over that finish line on lock. Looking fantastic.
Look at the rain coming down as the teammates are about to battle it out. James Abbott leads us out in Nigella, the S15 over Scott Shembry, who's back in the twin-turbo LS-powered 350Z. And James Abbott doing a nice job out in front. Scott Shembry battling with some power steering issues this weekend now. The car's back, but it's still not quite out of all of its gremlins. James Abbott doing a fantastic job. He was 4th last time in round number 1. And look at him. He's dialed in on point again, right up high, but look how slow the cars are compared to what we saw previously with the amount of rain. And is that some hail coming in as well? Because it looks very large what's coming down from the sky.
It looks like an immense amount of weather. We predicted hail, so that might be hail that's come down. But look, James Abbott, he was our 3rd qualifier. He's done such a great job in the dry, and look, he can handle this car around this layout in the wet like an absolute pro. Look at him go, and Scott Shembry obviously just playing catch up at that point.
A lot of power under the right foot for Scott Shembry. Now he's back in the 350Z, and look at that bobble as they come in. It's really hard. He has to straighten out again. He goes wide. He stalls the car up. James Abbott, did he make contact? The teammates, well, there'll be no love lost between them. They are absolutely fine. They know this is what drifting is all about. Sometimes you've got to risk it out there. A bit of panel work falls off. Here we go. Scott Shembry get back into the drift, but he probably knows, oh no, he grabs a bit of curb there. He knows it really hurt him coming into turn number 1. So he's just going to put it on for the crowd that has hung around in this torrential rain here this weekend. Look at the mud forming up. Spectators still out there under their umbrellas. What a show they're trying to put on for the people who've hung around.
Yeah, let's check out this Trias replay. You can see through the windscreen the poor visibility. They're getting water and mud and everything sprayed. That is such a hard layout to chase in these conditions. And James Abbott's just done a fantastic job being as close as he possibly can. Scott Chembry, obviously just a little bit of a challenge coming through in the lead position, but Jabbett deserves a win on that one. Looks absolutely fantastic.
You know how much it jars your steering when you hit a massive puddle in your street car. Imagine what they're doing at over 100 kilometres an hour out there in these conditions at Calder Park. Next up, Benny Hodges, though, he was on the podium in round number 1, getting chased down by the OG of Hi-Tec Drift Allstars, Alex Sharker. Look at the Sharks behind him. He's just lost a little bit of proximity as Benny Hodges just trying to push through all that water again. You can hear them feathering the throttle on and off, just trying to find some sort of traction out there. Pulls the car up, and you get the handbrake done. Trims it up nicely, sets himself up, and Benny Hodges, look at him go. Carries on from round number 1. Look at the setup. Drives it out really nicely.
What a commanding lead run by Benny Hodges. He just looked absolutely in control of the car from the starting gate. It looked absolutely fantastic. But take nothing away from Sharkers. He's there right in this in the chase position coming into turn 1. It's the flick here through turn 2. It just looked like it might have just gone to a little bit too much lock there and it slowed him down a little bit. That's the point where Benny Hodges can gain a bit of an advantage and get away through the touch and go zone.
I think that's right. If you get your back tyres in a little bit of those puddles, you're going to lose so much momentum, and over the course of the run, that's where you'll see the proximity really open right up. Alex Shark is going to lead us out. You know you're more comfortable in the lead run here as he pulls it up. How does he go in turn number 1? Makes it through the mud river nicely there. A lot of steering there. You just see it straighten up as he tries to get the car set up for turn number 2. He's wide. Ben Hodges in the background just trying to maintain that line by the look of Sharker. Starting to drive away the touch and go zones. Winds up a little bit of angle as he sets himself up for the final corner, and you can see how early they are in initiation now in these wet conditions. Drives around a metre off the wall of the judges. Look at Benny Hodges go, goes right tour to tour as they come out of the final corner. Wow.
Both drivers looking very much in control in the lead position, but it was this last corner. Benny Hodges in the chasing position just had the opportunity to get nice and close, and that is going to be achieving his maximum points in a chase position. To not hit coming in that last corner, fantastic job by Ben.
Let's have a look at how our Hi-Tec Oils Pro Category top 8 have formed up. Brody Maher will take on Chris Sadler. Jordan Sanderson will battle it out with Roger Jansen.
Patrick Barley's got Sam Mudge in his battle, and James Abbott's taking on Benny Hodges.
Here we go. Brody Maher leads out over Chris Sadler in the V8 Commodore Ute, and Brody Maher opens up a gap as the sun is back out here at Calder Park, and we're going to see these changing conditions once again. What do the drivers do in this instance, though? Because we know the track will take a little bit of time to dry out as Brody Maher just puts a wheel out in the mud. It's really going to show when they go wide for the judges when you see that mud. Going to be so wide here. How close is he to the wall? Is there any paint left on that rear bar of Brody Maher's Body Energy 1VR? I don't know.
Wow. All I can say is, wow, what an initiation into that final corner by Brody Maher. We'll check out the Trias replay. It's still a very big entry from Brody. Chris Sadler's just thrown it in just as hard to try and catch up, but it's just pushed him a little wide into turn 1. Brody Maher, there he is in the lead, outside touch and go, second touch and go zone, and then this flick into the final corner. I thought he was going into the wall. That was absolutely amazing driving, and that is what our pro class is all about.
Get down and see if there's any paint left on that rear bar. That's all I've got to say. As we see, Chris Sadler will lead us out this time as he goes wide. No, the back wheel's right out, and you can see him push all the muddy dirt up into the air from the rear tyre. And Brody Maher just pulls out of the drift for a second there. He'll reset himself up in the background. That's really got to throw you off as a chase driver, especially when that gets thrown all over your car and can impede your vision. Chris Sadler sets himself up for the final corner. He's done a fantastic job this weekend. Don't know if it's going to be enough after that mistake, though.
The VA Ute is such a heavy car and being very committed into turn 1. A lot of the drivers were really struggling. We'll check it at the Trias replay, but it's pulling the car up at turn 1 really unsettles the entire run. And then obviously you come to the final corner here. Chris Sadler was under control, but Brody Maher's just got him right on his door.
Got to give him A's for commitment there. Jordan Sanderson, though, will take on Roger Jansen, and Sanderson leads us out. He has been super committed this weekend, running in both categories, and the Ute pulls itself up nicely. Doesn't push out too wide, though, which sets himself up for turn number 2 as Roger Jansen really puts the nose of the S15 in there. He's applying the pressure to Jordan Sanderson. Here we go. touch and go zones. How committed are they to the final run? The wall right-hander. Sanderson's not worried about it. He puts the ute right up there, but he slides up. Roger Hansen down the inside, and does he make contact, Jordan Sanderson? I'm not quite sure.
Wonder if that VU's got a tail light left, because that was very, very close to the wall. You can see the size difference between these two cars. When Roger's S15 just tucks up on the inside panel of the VU, it nearly disappears. That is how close Roger is in the chase position. Absolutely fantastic driving by Roger, but take nothing away from Jordan Sanderson. He has done so many laps doing both categories this weekend, and he's just so confident in that Teknova ute. Look at it, so wide out on that wall ride. Fantastic driving.
It's really how you set yourself up that corner. If you come in shallow and you actually slide up, it's going to be an issue. We'll check it out. What is Roger Hansen going to do in the lead this time? Oh, you can see how much he has to move the steering around there to try and keep the car out of that mud on the outside of the corner. He's very wide here. It understeers. He manages to grab it. Just grabs a little bit of curb. Well, the touch and go zone's another opportunity for Roger Hansen, though. He's committed to this final corner. Look at him start to pull away from Jordan Sanderson, and now he's right up there a lot earlier than what we saw from Jordan Sanderson, right up on the wall the entire time, and opens up a gap. And Jordan Sanderson, I think with that moment coming out of turn number 2, he had to reset the ute as well, so probably caused by Roger Hansen in the lead. We'll have to wait and see how the judges see this one.
Yeah, look, coming through turn 1 and turn 2 for Roger, you saw a lot of understeer. He had to do a lot of corrections for the front steering. A little touch. There was a touch from Jordan Sanderson. I mean, he's got nowhere to go at that point. Roger's out of control. He's lost the front steering. Now, the second half of the run's fantastic, but those errors could be the major problem.
And this is what the judges saw one more time being called as Jordan Sanderson leads us out for their second battle in this top 8 of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category. And Jordan Sanderson sets himself up nicely in the ute, opens up a little bit of a gap. Roger Hansen's got some work to do now in that S15. They both missed that inner ripple strip. They set himself up in the touch and go zone. Jordan Sanderson could do this with his eyes shut by now. Look at the angle he throws on the ute as well as they go around the final corner. Hansen on the inside, and here we go. They both make it over the finish line. Wow, what a display of driving from these two.
Look, these conditions are going to be changing as the day's progressing, but it's still pretty wet at the moment. Both guys are still just driving their line. They're getting used to it. But Jordan Sanderson, so impressive in the lead there. Roger's looking a lot more comfortable in the chase this time as well. Look how close he is. The changes of direction. I don't know how he lost the front bumper, but this is the last corner. The settling up for the Hi-Tec Oils wall ride. Jordan right out wide. Mate, what a fantastic drift battle.
Really trimming it up with that little handbrake movements there you can see from Roger Hansen, but he's in the lead run this time. Can he clean this up? Last time we saw a lot of understeer, a lot cleaner through turn number 1. Jordan Sanderson sticks it to his door though. Roger Hansen good through turn number 2. Can he miss it? Yes, he does. Miss that inner ripple strip there. Touch and go zone. Look how fast Hansen is. He goes down, sets himself up for the final corner. Nice and wide early. Sanderson down the inside manages to close the proximity up a bit. Wow, this one's going to be hard for the judges to dissect. As Hansen spins out after the finish line. Now, was that initiated prior to the line? We'll have to wait and have a look on the Tri-Ace replay as the tail light now hanging out of the back of the car.
Look, Roger was so much more confident coming through. You could just see that he's just got his turn 1 and turn 2 dialed here. A metre off the ripple strip, perfect. Doesn't touch it with the back wheels. That was a really good lead run, but take nothing away from Jordan Sanderson. He has been chasing like a madman all day, and that he hasn't put a foot wrong in the chase position. What a fantastic win.
We saw the focus in his eyes, and he gets the win now. Patrick Barley has left over Sam Mudge. What has happened here on the start line is Patrick Barley has left in the Corvette. Sam Mudge still sitting on our start line here at Calder Park. So Patrick Barley sticking to the line as the sun is back out. Like we say, there's still plenty of water on the track. It doesn't seem to be drying out very quickly at the moment because it's pretty cold out there. And I don't think the sun's got enough heat and the track temperature is completely gone. So Patrick Barley making a nice dry line. We'll have to wait and see what has happened with our officials. As we check out the Tri-Ace replay, Sam Mudge moves forward for a second.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone to grab a gear, or it might be a bit of a mechanical issue. But look, Patrick Barley is able to go out and put on a bit of an exhibition run for himself. But yeah, a bit of a shame for Sam. I mean, that car's had a little bit of punishment. Again, he's doing double duties as well. So we're just got to find out what's happened there with the car.
Here we go. Sam Mudge has got the car started again. He's back out on track. This time he's going to lead over Patrick Barley. It's not over until this run is done. Sam Mudge needs to apply the pressure. We've seen how committed he has been. Patrick Barley now resides down in Victoria, so this now is home track, and he's been trying to do as many laps as possible here. He has done this layout before, and look at him. He's not letting Sam Mudge get too far away. Maybe they're just in the back of his ear saying, you don't need to get too close, because we have seen a lot closer proximity before from cars previously in these battles. So I think Patrick Barley just playing it safe at the moment, trying just to accumulate those points, not make an error because he wants to make it into those top 4 battles.
Yeah, really strong performance from Pat. Obviously just able to just sit back, really control, manage the car. But Sam Mudge in the lead, I mean, did a fantastic lead run, but maybe that mechanical issue coming through the first part is going to be his drama. But Patrick Barley, what a fantastic win for him, moves on to the next round.
Yeah, they've been working really hard on that car over the last couple of seasons, and it's really dialed in this weekend at Calder Park in these tough conditions as James Abbott now leads over Ben Hodges. Both of these cars in the top 4 at round number 1, and Abbott understeers. There goes wide. It really throws him offline to turn number 2, and Benny Hodges having issues in the back. But when you've got a car in front that's understeering like that and you're not sure what to do, you have to take evasive action as well. James Abbott sets himself up for this final corner again. They gets back into the drift, and he's going to be fully committed through this final. Hi-Tec Oils, wall ride. Here we go, both of them doing it. They're not side by side after that first corner issues. Oh, wow, didn't they get close?
I mean, both of these cars so very similar in their setup. They're 2JZ engine, S15 chassis, similar steering, and that is the key to it. Is if you can't get through turn 1 cleanly, it really does slow down the flow for the rest of the track. So Benny Hodges has done what he had to do to avoid. He's expecting that maybe Jabbit's going to go off the track. So it's really hard to call.
Yeah, look at the footwork. Let's see how they go in this one. Ben Hodges is going to lead us out over James Abbott. Can he get through the first corner without some understeer? He sets the car up with a fair bit of angle. Oh, you see them both have to straighten the wheel. So that is super slippery on that first corner, and that river of water that's going through really unsettles them as they go through. Benny Hodges now, oh, look at the water come off the back wheel as he drops it into a puddle. James Abbott now has an opportunity to get right on the door as they go through the final corner, and James Abbott doesn't need to get too close at this point. They're both along the wall. What a finish to this battle.
Such a strong finish. And Benny Hodges in the lead, obviously a lot more confident in that lead position this time around. But is it enough? Is it enough to get him through to the next round? Unfortunately not. James Abbott's going to get the win on this one, and that is a commanding chase position in the Hi-Tec Oils S15.
Yeah, James Abbott, a big advantage in that lead run first time out. Let's head down to the track now and catch up with him briefly.
Looked a little bit, couple of little errors out there. How'd it feel?
Yeah, look, it was all a bit of a mess. I think if on any other day, I'd say it was a really hard battle, really hard conditions, but after what we just went through in the one before where I was totally blind, that was like a dream. I could actually see what I was doing for most of the lap. I think really hard conditions. I think everyone's just doing whatever they can just to get the car around the track at this stage. No one's doing anything too fancy.
Well, they just need to get through these battles. Let's check out the highlights from the top 8 of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category. And Brodie Marr got the win over Chris Sadler. Jordan Sanderson managed to get the advantage over Matt Grice, who's packed up and on the trailer. And Patrick Barley got the win over Sam Mudge. And let's have a look at our Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Zoo Performance ProAm qualifying results. Jordan Sanderson up in number 1, Kieran Ratcliffe in 2, and Luke Willoughby, a newcomer to the series, in 3rd position.
Now let's check out the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category top 8 highlights where Kieran Ratcliffe gets the win over Jamie Godfrey, travelled over from South Australia. Luke Willoughby takes on Sean Mickelhatton. Luke Willoughby gets the win through into the next round. Jordan Sanderson takes on Mike Jones and he goes through to the next round. And Sam Mudge battled Andrew Ryan. Sam Mudge gets the win. And let's check out the Pro-Am top 4.
Here we go. Jordan Sanderson will now take on Sam Mudge, and Kieran Ratcliffe will take on Luke Willoughby. Now, what can Kieran and Jordan Sanderson do? We've already seen them up in the top 4 in round number 1. Will they get on the top step of the podium? We'll have to wait and find out. Your top 4 battles in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am. Kieran Ratcliffe leads out over Luke Willoughby, who's come from New South Wales, got himself a wild card entry to round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series in Pro-Am, and he's doing a nice job behind in the LS-powered car, the 180. Oh, he's wide. You can see the dirt flicked up in the background. Kieran Ratcliffe sets himself up, though. You can see he's tuned into these conditions this weekend, especially after round number 1 where it was very wet and wild as well. And nice job there from Kieran as he drives the car all the way through the Eagle 33.
Clearly, the laps this in practice has absolutely paid off for Kieran Ratcliffe. He was doing more laps in practice than anyone else, and this is a testament to him. He's hitting those outside touch and go zones, and a really, really strong setup for the final Hi-Tec Oils wall ride corner. Look how deep he goes into that initiation point and just holds it there on the loud pedal, gets through, but we'll spin him around.
Let's see how Luke Willoughby goes. He's in competition. He's only done this for a couple of seasons now. Never in the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series, and what a show he's putting on. Already into the top 4. He qualified 3rd position. Kieran Ratcliffe doing a nice job behind him. Willoughby throwing huge angle as he goes to the touch and go zones, modulating that throttle. You can see the rim slowing down as he's getting on and off the throttle. Throws it into the final corner, right up on the wall. Ratcliffe applying the pressure as well. Well, how does he go over the line? There's a lot of angle, but he pulls the car up. This one's going to be interesting. It might come down to the chase stripes.
Yeah, look, we'll check out the Trias replay. Luke Willoughby in the lead. This is his first ever time at Calder Park Raceway. Gets the wild card to compete, and he's done an absolutely fantastic job to get to this position. But Kieran Ratcliffe, really, really strong position, really strong chase driver, and he just sits there so confident in that second position.
Well, let's have a look at our second top 4 battle. Jordan Sanderson leads us out in his second car this weekend over Sam Mudge, whose car's doing double duties in ProAm as he goes wide, but it looks like they don't make contact. Follows him in. I swear he's using him as a mobile clipping zone. That is all that Sam Mudge is doing. Jordan Sanderson, though, doing so many laps but in different cars, and this is very different to the pro car he's had out there. The JM-built VE Commodore Ute sets himself up for the final corner, committed once again. He's right out wide. Sam Mudge down low. He doesn't really get right up on the proximity, but no, the final moments, does he make contact with the tyre barrier? It looked like he did.
Wow, Jordan Sanderson has been such an impressive driver all weekend. A little bit of understeer coming through turn 1, but Sam Mudge in the chase position read it perfectly and pulled up. There was no contact coming through turn 1 and 2, but then Sam Mudge has grabbed a heap of ripple strip in that middle part of the track, and it's just unsettled the car a little bit. But Jordan Sanderson in the lead position puts down a really strong lead run again, and Sam Mudge is just going to do everything he can to catch up.
Now we get here, Sam Mudge is going to lead us out over Jordan Sanderson. Sets himself up nicely. Turn number 1, smooth for Mudge. Pulls the car up before it goes too wide into the mud. Turn number 2, nice line there. Leaves a little bit of room for Jordan Sanderson, who almost just looked like a little bit of understeer coming into the big ute behind him. Sam Mudge now touch and go zone. Sets himself up. Committed to the final corner. Nice and wide, right out on the Hi-Tec Oils signage. Up nice and high. Jordan Sanderson running down the inside, closes the proximity up in the final part of the chase.
That was really, really wide from Sam Mudge. He got really close to the Hi-Tec Oils signs, but it did look like Jordan Sanderson just had a small correction coming through between turn 1 and turn 2, had to reinitiate and had to chase down again, but a really solid lead run from Sam Mudge. But that chase position looks pretty strong.
Well, plenty more action to come your way here in the Hi-Tec Oils Drift All-Star Series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back to round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series. We're at Calder Park in Victoria, and we're in the top 4 of our Hi-Tec Oils Pro category battles. And here it is. Brodie Maher is going to take on Jordan Sanderson in one epic battle.
Patrick Barley takes on James Abbott.
Can Brodie Maher get back on the podium? We'll have to wait and find out after round 1. But it's Patrick Barley, who was our number 2 qualifier, to lead us out over James Abbott. 2 and 3 in qualifying as they throw it in the first corner. Nice angle from Patrick Barley. James Abbott, can he maintain the pace of the Corvette as Patrick Barley starts to drive away? He's a little bit wide coming out of turn number 2, but look at the speed in the wet. This car is gripped up as he throws it into the final corner. He has risked the body panels on this car all weekend, and it does not change here as he throws it nice and high along the wall here at Calder Park.
Wow, Patrick Barley, a commanding lead run. Absolutely fantastic. We'll check out the Trias replay. It's here. We get through turn 1 and the flick through turn 2. And it was as if Patrick Barley just got flat on the gas. James Abbott's doing a bit of correction, maybe a little bit of understeer through turn 2. That really created that massive gap that he had to try and catch up, and he just never had the opportunity to get there.
Now James Abbott gets his chance to lead in this battle over Patrick Barley. Can Barley slow the Corvette down and maintain that proximity to James Abbott? We saw him go blow to blow in round number 1. What's it going to do in these wet conditions at Calder Park? James Abbott not using too much angle, just trying to keep the car on the line the judges wanted. Patrick Barley nice job emulating as he goes through the touch and go zones. The final corner though, will Patrick Barley dive down in the Corvette. We know how much speed and grip it's got. Gets as close as you probably want to get, I think, in these conditions next to James Abbott, and they go side by side over the finish line. Oh, a little bit of contact just after they straighten up. That won't matter.
We'll check out the tries replay, and James Abbott in the lead has just put down a fantastic lead run, and we've got to give it to him that the chase is only as good as a really solid lead run. Well done to James Abbott for really dialing that run, but Patrick Barley just sitting there in that second position, getting as close as he possibly can. Wow, what an incredible battle.
Patrick Barley will go in the battle for 1 and 2 on the podium. Who's going to be alongside him? Brodie Marr throws it in. Jordan Sanderson behind him. Marr goes wide into the dirt. Sanderson pulls the car up nicely. Now Brodie's going to have to get back into this drift in the Bonnie Energy 1via. Let's have a look. Jordan Sanderson, he's done a nice job, I think, not to make contact there. Brodie Marr, he's got nothing to lose now. Throws it down the gauntlet. Real high speed in the wet as he goes along the wall all the way up the top. He's going to have to get the paintbrush out and fix up that signage, I think.
What an uncharacteristic error. What an error coming into turn 1 from Brodie. I mean, he's trying harder. We're getting to the pointy end of the battle. That's such a huge entry into turn 1. That's the first error he's had all day, and it's just thrown him wide. That will be a big deduction, but great for Jordan Sanderson to be able to avoid. There was no contact, and now he can reinitiate and get through turn 2 and complete the lap. But real shame for Brodie Marr there. Jordan Sanderson, fantastic driving, just being composed and getting it done.
Jordan Sanderson gets his chance to lead out now. Will he commit as much as Brodie in this first corner? He goes wide, a little bit of dirt flicked up there and mud. Goes through turn number 1. He looks like, again, sacrificed a little bit of angle like we saw from James Abbott just to slide the car through there nicely as we are seeing dry patches starting to appear out there on the track. So drivers are going to have to test their commitment at this stage. They're willing to put it all on the line as he throws into the final corner. Brodie Marr doing a nice job. He's right up alongside him. Wow, look at this from a chase position.
What an aggressive chase by Brodie Marr. He knows that he's got to put it all on the line in this chase to try and undo the errors from the first lap into turn 1. But fantastic lead run by Jordan Sanderson, again in the Zeknova VEU.
Well, now let's move on to the battle for the podiums in our Zoo Performance Pro-Am, where it will be Kieran Ratcliffe taking on Sam Mudge for the top position and Jordan Sanderson taking on Luke Willoughby for the battle for third. We line them up. The JM built VE Commodore Jordan Sanderson swapping between Pro-Am and Pro this weekend. 2 different cars as well. It's probably helped him with the conditions out here. He's got a lot more laps under his belt. But Luke Willoughby coming out of New South Wales, the first time he's come across the Victorian border, and he's in the big game. Could he be on the podium? Jordan Sanderson has a nice little straight in there. You can see the understeer from the Commodore Ute. Luke Willoughby just doing a nice job in the background. Can he maintain the pace that Jordan Sanderson is going to try and lay down the big V8 powered Ute? He starts to drive away. We see little whispers of tyre smoke as he goes through. Luke Willoughby now starts to disappear in the background as Jordan Sanderson just laying down the pace in what is his home track here at Calder Park.
Yeah, what an impressive lead by Jordan Sanderson. Again, we cannot fault this guy this weekend. He is on fire, but Luke Willoughby, in his first ever competition down south, he just tags a back wheel on the ripple strip there. It's unsettled the car, and he's using all of the steering lock, and it's just slowing his overall momentum down. He's got to play catch up at that point, and it's a really tough position when you're chasing to try and play catch up.
Imagine the pressure the first time in the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series. A wild card in, he could be on the podium, you never know. Does a nice job through turn number 1, his lead run. Jordan Sanderson now puts the nose in, applies that pressure, and oh, look at that. Willoughby just grabs the inside curb again with the back wheel. Will it be enough for Sanderson to go through? He's got the opportunity to be in 2 podiums this weekend. Will he be in third place? They go through the final quarter. Sanderson's down really low. He drives the car up in the final parts. We'll have to look at Luke Willoughby though. Those little errors in the lead position as well as in the chase didn't maintain as much proximity to the car in front. And there you go. Jordan Sanderson will get the win and third place on the podium here for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am at Calder Park round 2.
Sanderson doing a fantastic chase run. Deserving winner, but here we go. We are into the final battle for the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category. And here we go, Kieran Ratcliffe in the lead with Sammy Mudge in the chase. Nice and wide on the outside of the ripple strip at turn 1. Steady through. Sam Mudge so close. Putting it all on the line in this final battle. Kieran Ratcliffe goes to massive steering lock coming through turn 2. Nice and steady. Composed himself. Flicked back through the touch and go zone. It looks like Sam Mudge has got a bit of a straighten there just to steady the car up. Kieran Ratcliffe looking at the wall. He's trying to put it as close as he can. Nice and wide on the Hi-Tec Oils wall ride. And he gets over the line nice and safely. Still a lot of water on the track. The conditions very, very hard for this final battle.
We'll check out the Trias replay, and Ratcliffe does a nice job. Look at the angle he throws through turn number 2. It's going to slow the car down a bit. You can see Mudge just get stalled up a little bit there in the background. Ratcliffe, what a start to the season he's had. He was 3rd on the podium in round number 1, and now his opportunity to stand on top, and what a lead run he's done here in the Zoo Performance Pro-Am, right along the wall. And Sam Mudge, you can see in the background here, just has a little bit of straighten as it goes off camber coming out of that final corner. Now Mudge, the commitment, his home track as he throws it in here at Calder Park. Big speed, Ratcliffe doing everything he can to stay with him. You can see him sacrificing a little bit of angle as they go through turn 2. No, right up on the ripple strip there. You can see the dirt flicked up by the rear tyre. Sam Mudge with a little bit of an advantage now. Opens up a little bit of a gap, but Ratcliffe doesn't let him get away. The proximity gets close right up. Ratcliffe, no, sideways and spins out, trying to get fast up on the wall. And you can see it's drying out again out there as the tyre smoke starts to come off the back tyres.
The changing conditions of this place, and you can just tell the guys are putting it all on the line. Kieran Ratcliffe getting as close as he possibly can, but he's turned it around on the last corner. And let's head down to the Zoo Performance Pro-Am podium.
Deserve a rest after this weekend. How are the arms?
Oh, no, the arms are all right. The head's a little bit rattled. No, it was good fun. Yeah.
You're making your way onto these podiums in the Pro-Am. Do you think you're a contender for the championship?
I'll probably stick it through, yeah, definitely now.
And your runner-up this time round, Kieran Ratcliffe. It's 2 rounds, 2 podiums now, so you've got to be happy with that. You stepped it up into 2nd position.
Yeah, I know. We're slowly moving up the ranks. That elusive first position still holding off on me, but it's got to come next round, surely.
How's the confidence building? I mean, we've had 2 tough rounds, tough conditions at both of them, but you're pretty comfortable in your car?
Yeah, the car's really settled now. I'm really happy with the way it's dialed in now. It's going really well.
We'll go and grab your champagne, get on the step. And our winner of the Zoo Performance Pro-Am category for round number 2 here at Calder Park, the tall man himself, Sammy Mudge. Come and grab your big check. Mr. Mudge, what a weekend from you. 2 categories this weekend. Unfortunately, didn't go your way in Pro, but in Pro-Am, very impressive.
Yeah, definitely went my way today in Pro-Am at least. The weather was pretty trying, but we've done all right. It's a good day out.
How good is it to get on the top step of the podium?
Pretty unreal. I don't think I've been up there yet, so I'm tall enough as it is, but that'll do.
Well, our Zoo Performance Pro-Am run and done. Big congratulations to Sam Mudge taking the top step of the podium. But let's have a look at our battle for the podium in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category now. Brodie Maher will take on James Abbott for 3rd position, and Jordan Sanderson takes on Patrick Barley. 2 drivers that have not been on the top step of the podium in the Pro categories in the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series. Here we go. Brodie Maher leads out over James Abbott. The battle for 3rd position. Let's check this one out.
Fantastic entry into turn 1. Brodie Maher really dialed. He's putting it all on the line. He's hungry for the win. Gets through turn number 2, nice and clean. Outside touch and go zones, perfect on the bitumen. Flick, and then the initiation of the final corner. This is textbook. Brodie Maher not buckling under the pressure. Nice and wide on the outside. Hi-Tec Oils wall ride. What a fantastic, dominating lead run by Brodie Maher. Wowee.
The defending champ needs to get as many points at this round as possible after round number 1. Mechanical issues saw him with a DNF. And look at him go. He is putting it all on the line. You cannot say he's not committed every time to that final corner as he throws the 1B around. Fantastic job. James Abbott, though, is going to lead out 4th in round number 1. Can he get on the podium for the first time in 2023? We'll have to wait and find out. Brodie Maher with a lot more angle through that turn number 1 as they set himself up. Coming through turn number 2, nice emulation from both drivers. The touch and go zone, and they're very evenly matched in pacing, but I feel like Brodie Maher might just be taking it easy because we've seen how fast the car was in the previous run. Look at him right up on the door. They had a big coming together in Queensland last season, but they have managed to get through it here at Calder Park. And look at the run they have done. The arms are out. They are excited about this one.
Let's check out the Trias replay. What a fantastic run by James Abbott in the lead. He's really been very, very solid. He gets through, but Brodie Maher's just been able to sit there because he knows he's going in with such an advantage. and he's still not backing down. You can see through the touch and go zone, he wants to win it properly, and that he's gone through. What an amazing job.
For the first time in 2023, Brody Maher gets on the podium in the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category in the Bonnie Energy 1 Via, and well, he's got to get back in that championship fight, but here it is, the battle for one to stand on top. Patrick Barley's had a podium here when we were running over at the Thunderdome back in 2019. We'll have to wait and see what he can do in the C6 Corvette. Jordan Sanderson joins the series in 2023, and will he get on the top step of the podium? He's already done it in the Pro-Am category. What's he going to do in Pro? In the Zeknova Australia VE Commodore Ute, Patrick Barley with all the speed, listen to it, modulating the throttle in the big 434 cube V8. And it just drives away from Jordan Sanderson, and Sanderson has been quick all weekend. Patrick Barley, does he stick the final corner? Looks like he's done it. Wow, he's so close again and drives all the way over the finish line, and a nice advantage in the lead position. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay.
It looks like Patrick Barley has found himself another gear. He is hungry for the top spot, the touch and go zone, and then the big flick into that final corner on the Hi-Tec Oils wall ride. Absolutely commanding lead run. Wow.
You saw Jordan Sanderson there coming down low, trying to get that proximity, but he's in the lead now. Jordan Sanderson will set the pace where he's comfortable in the ute. Holds nice angle, and it drives through turn number one where we see that water. Patrick Barley puts the nose up, and how easy does it look for him just to get on the foot brake there, pull the car up when he needs to, get it back so he doesn't make contact as they do the switch back here, emulates him nicely through the touch and go zone. They set up for the final corner. Patrick Barley, is he going to take the win? He's right up alongside Jordan Sanderson. Wow, what a finish to round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift Allstars Series, and they get across the finish line. I cannot wait to see this result. We'll check out the Tri-Ace replay.
It looks like Patrick Barley could reach out and touch the side of the VE Ute. He was that close and so committed into these mixed conditions. This is what a final battle is all about. Absolute professionalism. These guys are fantastic. Now let's head down to the Pro Class podium and check out the results.
In third place, our defending champion, Brody Maher. Come up here, the Tasmanian. Get yourself a big check, mate. A big smile on your face. Yeah, where are you? Look, bring it over here. Look at this. The man himself, you've been working hard on the car. Good to see you back out after round 1.
Yeah, I'm absolutely stoked with this, seriously. After round 1, having all the dramas, coming back on track. We actually didn't get to test at all before we come here either. So, yeah, awesome to come back with third. I'm stoked with that.
Our runner-up for round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series Pro category is going to be Jordan Sanderson. Come up here, mate. Keep collecting these checks. The boys are going to want you to put a bar tab on.
Yeah, that's it. I'll shout a couple tonight, that's for sure.
What is it like getting in and out of the 2 cars all weekend?
It was a mission, but it was fun.
Well done, mate. We get up on the podium. And your winner for the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category, the first time on the top step of the podium, Patrick Barley. Come over here. Come on this side, mate. We'll get you closer to your number 1. We know you've seen a couple of podiums in the Hi-Tec Drift All-Stars Series, but finally you get that number 1.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming since 2019 was our first year of Pro, and many ups and downs along the way, and yeah, I couldn't have better people along me with the way, with my dad, Tony, my brother, my girlfriend, Shelley, and all the rest of the family at home who have done absolutely everything that they can to keep this happening for so many years, and second iteration of car as well, so I'm pretty speechless as to what to go from here, but yeah, I'm pretty stoked about this. It's a big moment.
Well, you're accumulating points round 3 in Winton, so hopefully we see you there.
Yeah, with a bit of luck, we'll be there.
Get on top of the step of the podium. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, your winners for round number 2 of the Hi-Tec Oils Pro category here at the Hi-Tec Drift Series. Let's pop some champagne. Patrick Barley taking the win. Jordan Sanderson, your runner-up, and Brody Maher gets himself on the podium for the first time in 2023. Watch out, boys!
Congratulations to all of the drivers, and awesome to see Patrick Barley standing on the top step of the Pro Class category for the first time. Now, next event, we're out at Winton Motor Raceway, 3rd and 4th of June.
And the best news about that is free spectator tickets for everyone who comes out to Winton Motor Raceway for round number 3 of the Hi-Tec Drift All-Star Series. It's only a couple hours north of Melbourne. We can't wait to see you there.